So as I've explained already yesterday, I wanted to make this video for a while, but I kinda couldn't because I was sick, and I still am actually. But I really had to touch on this subject and make a full video on the Traptrix structure deck given how incredibly relevant it will be. Whether you plan on building Traptrix or not, this structure deck might end up being extremely helpful to you. But before we go into that, let's explain the new Traptrix cards first. Some of them are pretty good, some of them are pretty bad, so I'm not gonna waste any of your time. I'm going to be pretty quick with these cards. The first one is Traptrix Hudikaze. It's pretty much like an in-archetype version of Shade Brigandine, which was already really good in Traptrix before because it created some nice combos for the deck. But Hudikaze is actually better than Shade Brigandine in Traptrix now because it's obviously a Traptrix card, so it's searchable, which is relevant because of Sarah's effect. And on top of that, it has a really nice graveyard effect that allows you to revive back one of your Traptrix monsters. And it also creates some combos that Shade Brigandine could actually not do before, and I will go into detail on that later on. But yeah, this card is for sure a 3 of in the deck now. Now, there is another Trapple card that I think is really good, but it also has flaws, and that would be the Terrifying Trapple Nightmare. It's a proactive trap card, which is really nice, but unfortunately it is once per turn, so because of that, I don't really imagine myself playing more than one copy of this card, because you can reset it back at any point with the Traptrix Dionea. And next up is a monster, Traptrix Arachnocampa, which is very similar to Lord of the Heavenly Prison because both of these monsters can protect your set back row. Traptrix Arachnocampa, of course, is a Traptrix monster, so it's really easy to have access to, and it also has a nice special summoning effect, but Lord of the Heavenly Prison is also very easy to have access to because of Gallant Granite, since it is a rock monster. I believe this monster will be played as a 2 of. And next up is Traptrix Pinguikula, a very good rank 4 Xyz monster. I think it's an amazing card, so it definitely has to be played at least as a 1 of in the extra deck. All of its effects are good, there's really nothing worth explaining here. Alright, moving on is a really bad card that I actually despise, and that would be the new Link 3 monster, which is Traptrix Adipus. If it was a Link 2, it would have been really good, but unfortunately being a Link 3 makes it really not worthwhile to summon because pretty much any rank 4 Xyz monster is always better. And finally, we got 2 cards that work in tandem with each other, and that would be Traptrix Hudikaze as well as the Traptrix Garden Field spell. Hudikaze has a kind of Farfa-esque effect on special summon, and on normal summon you can search the Garden from your deck to your hand, and the Garden grants you an extra normal summon for a Traptrix monster that turn, and also has some niche other effects that allow you to protect your monsters from being destroyed by battle the first time, and also revive back a Traptrix monster from your grave by banishing a monster on your field. Obviously not too bad, but they don't really get your engine started in any way, shape, or form, so because of that, both of these cards are 1-ofs at best. There is also a shitty new Draw 2 spell card, but it's really not good because you have to discard like a level 4 insect or plant monster, or a normal trap card, which is not really good because you don't really want to be negging when you lose to Ash. And also, on top of that, it draws cards, which conflicts with Pot of Prosperity, which is already a very good card in Traptrix. And to make matters worse, it's a hard once per turn, so forget about it. Alright, now let's go for the reprints, the best part for some of you budget players out there. We're getting another set of reprint for cards like Ash, Evenly Matched, for Genki, Harpy's Feather Duster, and even Traptrick. This gives an already valuable structure deck that is actually competitively viable even more value by giving it sought-after cards. And I'm not saying this to get clicks or anything, but I genuinely do believe that this deck will be tier 1 in the TCG. I actually compare it to Labyrinth. I think it has the same strengths and same weaknesses, but the difference is that people don't really know much about Traptrix because it's pretty new. At least the new cards are really new, whereas Labyrinth has kind of been sitting here in the TCG for a little bit, so I think people understand the deck a little bit more than they understand Traptrix. If you go first against Kashtira, you don't need much to win. All you really need is to resolve Floodgate Chapel, and that kind of just screws them over completely, actually. And I'm not really going to spoil too much right now, but a single Murmelio leads to a 1-card OTK against Kashtira, which is nasty. Smash the like button if you want me to make a video on that. But yeah, going second, the deck struggles if you only see engine cards, but this is where creative deck building comes in clutch. You could main deck Evenly Matched, because even if you tried going first, you can still discard it off of the Holatea, or you can main deck Nibiru because it's a rock monster, so also searchable by Gallant Granite. You could main deck Fenrir and Gozen Match because everything in the deck is Earth. You could tech in Imperial Iron Wall to protect yourself from the Kashtira effects, but also Evenly Matched and Cosmic Cyclone. The world is your oyster with this deck. I really love decks that kind of reward players from being creative with them, because there's just so many options with a deck that can, spam some Xyz plays, but also supplement its engine with trap cards. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Traptrix. I think the deck will end up topping a YCS very soon enough, and hopefully winning. That would be fantastic, especially if I'm the player who ends up winning with Traptrix. But that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.